Hello, Tangerinis from San Miguel de Allende.
This city is incredibly popular with expats and travelers alike, but why are expats flocking here? Today we're going to tell you.
Since it's situated at about 6,000 feet above sea level, it has pretty nice year-round weather. It's getting a little hot right now in April, but we're coming into the hottest time of year. April and May are probably the hottest months of the year.
And by hottest, we're talking 90-degree highs.
Yeah.
But it really cools down in the evenings and at night, so that's another awesome thing. You get a little reprieve from the heat every single day.
Something else people love about San Miguel is that there's some fun things to do nearby. For example, there's a lot of vineyards around the city.
Wait, I just saw a bunny! I just saw a bunny! Oh my gosh, come back! Senor!
We're at this vineyard right now called San Jose de la Vista, and we're down in the basement in the wine cellar. We're in the area where they have all the wines aging in the oak barrels. So they age 6 months in one barrel, switch them to another barrel and for 6 months, and then they put them in a bottle for 6 months before they sell it to the public.
He was also just telling us that they don't use any pesticides on their grapes, which is super cool, and they don't use any sulfites in their wine either, which means you might be able to try it.
Yeah, maybe, because some wines give me like a throat problem where I feel like I can't breathe.
By the way, it's San Jose La Vista.
San Jose La Vista?
Yeah. I also had to point out inside this wine cellar, they have the most beautiful giant Boveda ceilings. It might be kind of hard to tell, but it's like a big arch in the center made out of bricks. This is absolutely spectacular.
At this vineyard, they actually just opened a restaurant called Terragon, and we're gonna try that in just a moment. But right now we're up here with these amazing views at the top. It's absolutely beautiful.
And then here on this upper level, I can't even describe to you how elaborate and amazing this Boveda ceiling is. It goes way up there and it has like these tiered levels to it. Like, oh, everything about this. What'd you just say?
What did I just say?
Let's buy this hacienda.
Might be a little bit out of our price range.
Oh, maybe just a smidge,
just
a couple $1 billion out of our budget. I don't know, how much does a vineyard even cost? Another major appeal for expats coming to San Miguel de Allende is that the architecture, especially around the historic center, is absolutely gorgeous. You've got these beautiful, well-maintained city facades, and you can see the history in all the buildings.
Speaking of well-maintained, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is yet another reason why people find it appealing. And since it's a UNESCO site, they have to maintain certain looks of the buildings, and there's a lot of restrictions on what they can do with the building. ¿Qué pasó?
Losing my mask.
Losing your mind.
Always.
For example, here we're in front of this hotel. There's a sign that's flat to the wall. The businesses here aren't allowed to have signs sticking out from the wall. And at a place like a convenience store, let's say OXXO for example, they normally have a bright red sign, but here it has to be neutral colors. And sometimes they also add like ribbons or something to indicate they're a business.
Perhaps one of the most beautiful displays of architecture in the whole city, or maybe even in Mexico as a whole, is this Parroquia de San Miguel. I think it reminds me a whole lot of La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, and that was done by the famous architect Gaudi. It's an unfinished masterpiece of his. Tried to do some research into this to find out if this inspired that, or La Sagrada Familia inspired this. Couldn't really get a clear answer on this, so maybe if you guys know, you can comment down below, but just look at this beauty. Absolutely stunning. I do really love spending time in this historic center area, or centro as we always call it, because they have some of the streets closed off to car traffic, which means you can walk freely and not have to worry about getting hit. There's lots of shops to look into. You can grab yourself a snack from one of the vendors, or a drink, or a coffee, or just poke around and enjoy all the beautiful architecture.
One thing I do not like about coming into this center area is that to get in here they make you walk through these sanitation tunnels.
Yeah, where they're spraying some type of unknown chemical. Yesterday it got in my eye and it was watering for like a half an hour.
But I found a great solution for that. Oh, it's still getting me.
Another reason San Miguel de Allende is a very appealing option for expats is that it is incredibly clean. I wouldn't say this is the cleanest city we've seen. Querétaro definitely takes the cake on that one. You go Querétaro, but it is very, very clean all throughout throughout the city, especially in the very well-maintained historic center. Another reason that expats love San Miguel de Allende is that it is a very walkable city. I think you can walk from about tip to tip in the center, the historic center area, in about 30 minutes. Plus, it's got really nice and flat sidewalks. The only thing you have to worry about is slipping because some of the stones can be a bit slick.
Yeah, depending on your shoes. You've gone almost tumbling a couple times.
Yeah. To be fair though, I don't know that everybody would consider these the nicest sidewalks because, for instance, if you were in a wheelchair, I think you'd have a very hard time going over these stones, but they are aesthetically pleasing and they do exist. In some cities there are no sidewalks, so you're walking in the street or you're walking on these cobbly roads, which can be very difficult.
Yet another big reason why a lot of people come here is because of the art culture. There are art galleries all over the city and artists come from all over the world to come to San Miguel. We're at this place called Fábrica La Aurora, which used to be a factory, but now it's been transformed into tons of art galleries and coffee shops. And there's places like this and art scattered all across the city.
There's actually a lot of beautiful murals all around the city as well.
And also at Fábrica La Aurora, there's art installations like these cool chubby little guys climbing ladders and doing ladder tricks. Here in San Miguel, they make sure pigs wear masks all the time.
Another highly appealing aspect of San Miguel de Allende is that you can live a life of luxury if you want to. There are some absolutely gorgeous properties all around the city, including the one that we're staying at right now, which is called La Chispa or Casa Chispa, I keep wanting to call it. I'll give you guys just a little tour of the place that we're staying in right now. For instance, right behind me, that is a historic chapel that they restored to its former glory. This whole house, it's like a giant hacienda. It's super big with trees and plants and greenery all around. It's a total sanctuary. We're staying in one room in the house, and I think there's a handful, 4 rooms total if I'm not mistaken. So let me go show you our place. Walking in the door here, we have this big, luxurious king-size bed with super silky soft linens. Such a treat. We've slept like angels the whole time we've been here so far, the few days. We've got this beautiful chandelier, one of my favorite things about it. Although every single detail about this apartment, our hosts were telling us that they picked it out individually. A lot of the furniture is custom made, like there's stories behind every single aspect. We've got this big, beautiful living room with a gigantic TV that's about the same size as I am tall. We've got a fully stocked kitchen. This is probably the most well-stocked kitchen I think we've even come across, like in all of our travels in Mexico. Then come up a few steps here to my favorite feature of the entire place, and that's the bathroom with this dream-worthy bath. Like, seriously, all my dreams came true having baths in this. Baths are so rare in Mexico, so this was amazing. This room and a handful of others they have available on this property are available to rent, and if you want to see more pictures and check out more details, you can go to airbnbsanmiguel.com. We'll also link that below in the description. Another awesome thing about San Miguel de Allende is just overall, it's very photogenic. It's an extremely photogenic city with the beautiful building facades like we've mentioned, the architecture, and the parroquia and other churches and other features about the city. Right now where we're standing, this is actually what we were told is the most photographed street, the most photographed spot in the entire city, and I can see why. It's a whole vibe.
This is our first video we've made in San Miguel de Allende, but if you're interested in learning about other expat retirement destinations in Mexico, we actually lived in one called Ajijic for a while, made a ton of videos while we were there.
So we'll link that playlist of videos right up here so you can see another very popular expat destination.
At times, the city seems like a bit of a concrete jungle, but then there's some really nice parks around, like this is Parque de Juarez, is it?
That sounds about right.
I looked that up a few days ago, so I might be wrong about that. But yeah, you're just surrounded by trees and shade, and
because the one over there was closed, just like every other one. El Centro! It's been so long since we've been able to do that because of COVID-19. They've basically closed off all the center squares in every city that we visited, but not today. Get the satisfaction, finally! Okay, we just looked it up to clarify. This is Parque Benito Juarez. So Jordan, you were very close. But we're here, it's Sunday, and there's this tianguis of local products. I saw some rugs, some more artwork, lots of jewelry, and this is set up, did I say on the weekends?
No, he said we're here on Sunday.
Set up on the weekends, more local products and stuff to enjoy. Wanted to let you guys know really quick that we release a new video about Mexico every single Saturday, so if you want to see our upcoming vlogs, hit that subscribe button. Another highly appealing thing about San Miguel de Allende is that it's very centrally located in Mexico. So you have a number of cities within like an hour's drive, like Querétaro, where we were right before this, and also, for instance, Mexico City is about a 3-hour bus ride away. So you have lots at your fingertips if you want to travel and see more of Mexico, but make San Miguel de Allende your home base. One minor bummer about the location, though, is that there's no Costco within the city.
There's no Costco?
First
What a
world
shame.
problems. Oh my gosh, no Costco. But there are 3 different Costcos within an hour's drive in the city of Querétaro, León, and Celaya, if I remember right. So once again, you still have tons of stuff at your disposal within like an hour or less. This might be kind of an obvious one, but why are expats flocking to San Miguel de Allende? Because there's a large expat community already here, and more people are coming every single year. So it can be very nice when you're going to a new country with a foreign language to acclimate to the culture with people who you're familiar with.
Who speak your language, who know your culture,
Yes,
things like
exactly.
that. But one problem you are going to run into, I guarantee it, when you come to Mexico, is that all the websites you visit are all going to switch to Spanish, and degrees are going to switch to Celsius, and all the measurements are going to switch to what they call that, the metric system or something.
What the entire rest of the world uses besides the US. But anyway, as you're dealing with getting used to the culture, figuring out how to pay your bills and stuff, you're going to all your favorite websites and they're now in Spanish. That's one extra headache that you're having to deal with throughout the day.
But a solution to this is getting a VPN. Our favorite VPN can be found at tangerinevpn.com. That's our affiliate link. But what this does, it allows you to change your location easily, just with the click of a button, to the US. Voila, your websites are back in English. This really helped us out in the beginning of the year because we were watching this show on Netflix, Gossip Girl, and then
It went out of the US library, I think.
Yeah.
And so we had to change our location to Japan to be able to watch that show again.
but the choices were pay $2 a month for a VPN or buy the seasons on Amazon for $25 or $30 a season, and there were 7 of them.
If you want to check out a VPN and get this benefit along with many others, you can go to tangerinevpn.com. Right now they're actually running a sale. I believe it's 83% off.
Plus 3 extra months
3
free.
months free. So it's a really small investment to save yourself a lot of headache down the road. Another reason expats rave about San Miguel de Allende is the great variety of restaurants in the city. For such a relatively small place, there are just dozens upon dozens, maybe hundreds of restaurants with cuisine from all over the world and world-class chefs as well.
Yeah, they say it has one of the best culinary varieties in Mexico, and if you want like a really fancy meal, you can do that. And there's also taco stands you find elsewhere.
By the way, we're at a rooftop terrace restaurant called Casa Nostra. It has really cool ambiance, and if you get the upper level, you have great views of the Parroquia de San Miguel. Unfortunately, we made a mistake, and we recommend that if you want to come here, that you don't make a reservation on Open Table, because when you arrive, they're going to tell you to hurry up and get on your flight so you can book it over to Florida, where that reservation is actually for. The plates here range from about 150 to upwards of 400 pesos. So this is on the higher end of the restaurant offerings here in San Miguel de Allende. But like you were saying, you can get cheap food, street food, and then go into the market and find a meal for like 60 pesos.
Yeah, it's definitely not the cheapest city we've been to, but they have a wide variety of food.
Food just came out. It looks delicious, very gourmet, and just to give you an idea of the prices, my ensalada mediterránea is a $1.45. And your pizza thingy?
My pizza thingy, I forget what it's called. It was a word I've never seen before in my life. It was something like 220 pesos. Salud.
Salud.
We got beautiful drinks here. They're about 160 pesos each, give or take a little bit. But in our last video, we were at a vineyard, and someone commented, all I took away from this video was that Maddie drank 4 glasses of wine in 26 minutes.
I did not.
I know, that's what someone commented.
Oh.
But
okay, come on. Where's the math on that?
I mean,
you guys...
it took us 5 hours to record. 4 glasses of wine, 5 hours. That's normally what it's like.
I feel like I need to explain myself now. That is totally unfair. One of them was a half-size bottle anyway. Be sure to subscribe to our channel because next week we have another San Miguel de Allende video coming out. One more thing before you go.
I'm gonna kick it.
And gong that bell so you get notified when that video comes out. In the meantime though, you can keep watching a playlist of videos that we made in another very popular expat destination that we mentioned before. Ahihi.
Right here?
Yep, we'll link that on the screen right now. Ahihi Lake Chapala, and you can continue watching those videos until we see you next Saturday.